The court erupts in shock, and the two culprits are exposed for their treachery. To hammer the final nail in the coffin, my guy uses his magic mojo and makes his two friends talk like the parrots they are under his command. They admit to giving a false report about Christian taking the life of a young girl. Furthermore, they were ordered by Butler Cox to frame the young master for this murder. Unsurprisingly, the butler begins to panic and starts defending himself as if his life depends on it, which, well, it does. Chris already knew this jackass would react exactly like this, so he had already prepared for it. He addresses his father and requests to borrow his authority for a while because he has a direct question he wants to ask Butler Cox. He promises that this one question alone will separate the milk from the water. His father agrees and promptly gives Cox the opportunity to defend himself. So Cox is advised to stand in the defendant's stand. Before Chris can ascend to jury's stand, his father lets him know that if he abuses his authority, he will be stripped off it immediately. Once Chris ascends to the judge's stand, he proceeds to question Cox with the authority he has been granted. First of all, he wants defendant Cox to swear that he will speak nothing but the truth. Cox, of course, swears right away, not that he has a choice. But as soon as Cox swears twice, my guy uses his binding seal magic on him. Even the people in the courtroom can't help but notice. Their reaction is one of awe because there is no way in hell a mere brat should be able to wield 4-star dark magic. Before proceeding further, we learn a little about this binding seal. Basically, my guy modified the binding seal so it could be used even with a lower star rank. However, it has additional conditions. Chris needs the target to swear twice. Now it makes sense why he made Cox swear twice, and also why he made those two goons promise twice before hijacking their brains. Now that the binding seal is a success, my guy questions this shithead about why he hired those two to slander his name. The binding seal begins consuming Cox's mind when he tries to avoid answering. He manages to endure the pain for a bit, but eventually he reveals that he received orders from someone. The man who gave him the order also threatened him about the corruption he had been involved in with the finances, so Cox had no choice but to comply. Before making Cox admit anything further, my guy wants him to confirm whether he is talking about the embezzlement he has been committing behind the count's back. After confirming this little fact, Chris proceeds further with the trial, asking about the person who gave him the order. When Cox refuses to speak, the pain intensifies, forcing him to utter the name Sir Eshid. This news drops like a nuke on everyone when they realize that it was the second son of the Dark Magic clan, Sir Eshid de Baron, who was pulling the strings. Cox further reveals that now that he has spilled everything, he will be killed by Eshid. But before Sir Eshid can pose any threat to Cox's life, my guy severs this traitor's head right in front of Count Khazar. Before anyone can start yapping about his bold move, Chris clarifies that he punished the sinner under the authority he borrowed from the Count.